hello and welcome to this episode of On the Tee with H&B, coming to you from the second tee here at the North Barrett Golf Club as the sun sets over the West Links. This week's interview comes from the other side of the Firth of Forth and the home of golf. We recently sat down with Sheena Willoughby, the longtime proprietor of the Dunvegan Hotel. Sheena shared a few laughs, a few stories, as well as what's next for golf's beloved 19th hole. We hope you enjoy the listen. Well, we're joined today by somebody in St. Andrews that in many ways needs no introduction. Sheena Willoughby, thanks for being on the tee with H&B with us today.
Hey, my pleasure. Happy to be here.
So, story of the Dunvegan. You and your husband Jack purchased the place back in 94, I think that is?
Yes.
How did you come to own the greatest 19th hole in golf?
Well, it's a long story, but basically Jack and I were working up in Aberdeen, and you know, our love of golf brought us down to St. Andrews on the weekends, and we'd come down here and play, and we'd hang out at the hotel, and it was always a great atmosphere, great people, and we always just had a good time. And one weekend we were here, the owners said they were looking to sell, and we really just saw a great opportunity to, the oil field was changing, our company had been bought over, and like I say, we saw this great opportunity to really, you know, work hard, a little luck, and turn this place into a 19th hole for golfers. You know, we measured it, we're 112 yards from one of the most famous golf course, if not the most famous golf course in the world, and we just thought, hey, let's give it a go.
So you're right around the corner from obviously the old course, and that's what brings so many to St. Andrews, but you know, there's a lot of people that this is just as much a part of their itinerary as that tee time on the old course. What is it about the Dunvegan to you that makes it so special?
I think over the years, what's been created here, it's just like a melting pot of life in that bar. It's predominantly guys on golf trips, away from stresses and strains of business life, home life, and it's just a fun place to be. Like I say, it's a melting pot. Everybody in there has a story, and I think people's love of golf really has brought them here. They're happy to be here, they're easy to look after, and you know what, I guess it's like Vegas, what happens in there stays in there to a certain extent.
Well, for the first time visitor, the first impression is unmistakable. You are on the wall with everything from presidents to major championship winners to the king and maybe even other kings. You know, the history that's on those walls kind of speaks for itself. We would never ask you to pick favorites, but any of those stories that stand out through the years more than others?
Oh, there's goodness me, I could write a book, but there's lots of stories, but I think some of them, you know, I think we're very fortunate. We get a lot of golf professionals coming in, like you say, celebrities and famous people, but our collages reflect, you know, the ordinary golfer, you know, that comes here on a golf trip, and they're equally as important and special to us. And you know, I think, you know, when you think of Mr. Palmer, he just walked through the door one day unannounced, and after his lifelong caddy Tip Anderson passed away, Mr. Palmer couldn't get to the funeral, so he sent flowers, and on the card he wrote, "Goodbye, old friend." So Tip's seat in the bar, when you go in the door on the left, there's a plaque there, and it tells you, you know, Tip Anderson, you know, the dates that he passed, and we got on there, "Goodbye, old friend," which Mr. Palmer had on the card. So things like that. And then he ordered himself a half pint of lager, and we said, "We'll get that for you," and he insisted on paying. And then he toasted Tip, and then he went outside, and then he sat out on the bench in front of the hotel. And then, of course, I mean, Arnold Palmer sitting outside on your patio, I mean, how cool is that? And then, of course, all the cars going up and down were all honking their horns, and it was just like a carnival atmosphere. So things happen here, I guess, for a reason. You would never get that any other place, I don't believe, throughout the world. St Andrews is a special place. And it was just like the seniors when it was here a couple of weeks ago as well. I was sitting on a patio down on the 17th, and here's Tom Watson just walking by, and I mean, where else would you get that? So it's really a special place. And we've just been very fortunate that part of our lives, well, a lot of years in our life, have been associated with the golf world from all walks of life. So it's been really special.
Well, a special place indeed. And you mentioned your travels and getting out, elsewhere now that you've got the free time. The old course obviously has a special place, but where do you play other than the old course if you had to pick?
Well, of course, Jack's from Texas, so we spend quite a lot of time now in Texas, or we will be over the winter months. And we're actually just, for all my Aggie friends out there, we're moving to Bryan College Station, and we're going to spend time in Texas at Traditions Golf Club, but we're keeping our Champions membership. It's very special to us. We have lots of friends there. And of course, Mr. Burke, Jack Burke Jr., he's such a special man, and his wife Robin. They've been so good to us over the years, and it's really great that we're very blessed to be a member of that golf club, Champions Golf Course. And Jack and I were at the Outer Hebrides a couple of weeks ago, played fabulous golf courses there. How in the heck Tom Morris got there in the day? It took us 5 ferries and 24 years here to get there, but old Tom got there, goodness knows how. And I go on a golf trip to Turkey every year with Mickey Walker, Solheim Cup captain. She's actually the junior Solheim Cup captain next year at Glen Eagles. So it's kind of difficult for me next year going to the Solheim Cup because I have so much affiliation with the American side, Jack being American, and we've had so much support from the Americans here at the hotel, through Julie Inkster coming in after and announcing her Solheim Cup team after the Women's British Open. And Julie comes in with all the Americans, but at the same time, I'm pulling for the Europeans too, because I love Mickey Walker, go on her trips. So it's fun. It's all fun, and it's all for the greater good of golf. So I just feel very fortunate that through our business here, it's opened the doors for me to form, friendships, if you will, with people throughout the golfing world, all over the globe, really. And of course, with social media now as well, you can keep it in touch with people. So it's really fun.
Well, we see it anytime that we post about the Dunvegan. Rest assured that a number of the H&B forces will come chiming in and share their memories. There's a group from Tallahassee area that every year they come and they dine with the Sleepy Die ashes.
Yes,
and,
that's right. In fact, some of his relations were just here, I think, about 5-6 days ago, and had their photographs taken in the bar with Sleepy. I missed them. I didn't get to meet them, but again, through social media, I saw that they were here. Yeah. So I think we've kind of added to Sleepy over the years. I think we've got
some company.
We've got some
now.
company now.
So, as we mentioned, this is usually at the top of anybody's itinerary in St. Andrews.
Oh, thank you.
For the first-time visitor, walks in the door, what do you order?
What do you order? First coming in? Well, we've got a great menu. We have a bar menu, bar supper menu, and we also have a dinner menu for the Claret Jug. We call the restaurant the Claret Jug. In conjunction with the Open Championship, which is special to St Andrews, and of course the 150th Open will be here in 2021. But that said, our burgers are great. We char grill them, but our signature steak, that's the one to go for if you're here at night time. It's an 8-ounce filet, jalapeno peppers, melted cheese salsa, and a mixed herb sauce, and absolutely delicious. So that's what I would go for. And
setting aside any and all bias, first-time visitor to St. Andrews, where do you go? What do you see?
What do you see? Well, apart from the trip to the Dunvegan Hotel, St Andrews is just a great place for people to get out and about and walk around. You can go up the Scores, the castle, the pier. In fact, funnily enough, I called David Joy the other day because at the end of the street, it's like a long par 5, is St Rule Tower. It's got 168 steps in it. You pay £3 to get in, and you go up the spiral staircase. And like I say, it's almost just a par 5 at the end of the street. Well, it's taken me 24 years to get up there, but I went there last week. I called David Joy and I said, hey, you'll never guess where I am. And he knew right away that I was at the top of St Rule Tower. So that's definitely a must for some hardy souls that want to climb up these stairs.
To not take
Yes.
24 years to
But
to get there.
there's lots to see. The beaches are great. St Andrew's just a special place. The cobbled streets, it's so different from, people coming over here. It's like going back in time, and yeah, it's good. It's good for everybody.
Well, you mentioned Mr. Joy, and we would be totally remiss if we didn't mention the surroundings
Exactly.
here in this room. All of his sketches from
I
through
know.
the years.
Well,
and,
he is recovering, making a remarkable recovery from a severe stroke. But he was here just a few days ago, and we have Francesco Molinari now added to the wall, having won the Open. So we were just thrilled that David was able. I mean, we didn't even know if he would be able to draw again, let alone produce something like this. So we're really proud to host his exhibition in here, and continue the theme, and happy days.
so with Happy Days being the theme, what's next for you and Jack and the rest of the Dunvegan team?
Well, the Dunvegan team, they're going to keep going as we are. Hopefully, I mean, the business is going to change now. It is under new ownership. They're happy for the place to continue as is. They're delighted. I mean, Jack and I had, I think, 9 bids for the hotel, and it was all great people. It was difficult to choose, who was going to go forward with the hotel, but we felt that Gil and Andrew were just a great fit, and we got along so well with them, and we're happy that they're the new owners. Jack and I maintained a 10% share in the business, a small share. Gil recognised that Jack and I are still the face of the Dunvegan, and our role now really is we're flying the flag on our travels. We've got more freedom now, and our staff, I mean, they know the business like the back of their hands. I mean, they've all been with us for years and years and years, and they've all elected to step up, and they're going to take ownership for the hotel. And I mean, they've got challenges ahead of them for sure, but they're stepping up. They're going to manage the place, and Jack and I will be on the sidelines. We're here to help them, offer advice as and when they want it. Gil and Andrew will be coming over. So hopefully, the hotel will continue and grow and get better and better. And like I say, Jack and I are still delighted to be a part of it. It's just a bonus for us.
So this town oozes history. You can't turn more than a few feet without bumping into something of historical nature. And
Yes.
In 100 years, when they put up the plaque outside this building, what do you hope that it says?
Wow. Whew, gosh, you've come up with that one. I'm getting emotional now. I guess in tribute to the late Neil Armstrong, this is off the cuff now, but I would think that in tribute to him, I would say something like, one small step, but a huge leap for Jack and Sheena, something like that. Because we rolled the dice. I mean, we gave up good jobs up in Aberdeen, great benefits to come down here and take this on. And in the early days, I mean, we didn't really have a clue what we were doing. We were great customers. We knew how to drink a pint, but heck, we didn't know much about pouring them. So it was a challenge in the early days, and I can't honestly say that the first 4 years were much fun. I mean, I went to bed at night, crying my heart out for the most part. But we got through that stage and things got better. So I would say something along these lines.
Fantastic. Well,
And maybe a little gig of Maggie's.
well, Sheena, Thank you for being with us. Thank you, more importantly, though, for the memories that you've helped make for not only our travelers, but everyone that steps foot through this door.
Thank you, and thank you for your kind words. And I've got to say something about the Major, because he's been a huge support, Haversham and Baker, for the Dunvegan all the time we've been here. People staying in the hotel, customers coming in for food and drinks, and it's just been a great partnership. So thank you to the Major.
On his behalf, it was our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheena.
Thank you.
And a thank you once again to Sheena Willoughby for joining us today, and the best of luck to her and Jack and the rest of the team as they press ahead at the Dunvegan. If you'd like to keep up with golf's beloved 19th hole, we suggest giving them a follow on social media. That's going to bring this episode to a close. We'll have another one for you here soon, but until then, thanks as always for joining us. We wish you plenty of golf at its finest and life at its best.